Well, hello everybody and welcome back to the Football Overseas YouTube channel and welcome to the English Championship midweek predictions for game week 44 or match week 44 if you like. So we've just got 3 games to go, but first of all we must congratulate Coventry City on mathematically certain now of being in the Premier League next season. What a fantastic achievement for Frank Lampard and the Coventry team. And it is only a matter of a few more points, I think. And that's providing other teams don't slip up in the meantime, that they go away with the Championship trophy as well. And absolutely deserved. They've been by far the outstanding team of this season in this division. Yes, they had a couple of wobbles, but all teams are going to have that. But they were good enough to come back from those wobbles and steady the ship and just march away with the title, I think, and almost certainly, and promotion to the Premier League. So let's hope that Frank Lampard gets some support from the owners and chair and the hierarchy there to compete somehow in the Premier League. Easier said than done, we all know that. But Sunderland have proved that it can be done this season. So let's hope Coventry are there to stay. Remember, they were there a very long time, but they've been out of it over 20 years, 25 years, I think. Incredible. When you think Coventry, as I say, were part of the top tier furniture for such a long time. So congratulations to Frank Lampard, to Coventry City. All their fans are having a great or had a great weekend, I'm sure. And now it's back to business this week. As I say, I think they'll clinch the title as well. And they are the first team or the first match listed on this week's midweek. Oh, just before we get into that, at the bottom, there's been a little bit of a turnaround at the bottom. It's almost now looking like Leicester and Oxford are in the most peril. Well, they are in the most peril, but they look, I can't see now that they're going to climb out of it. They will say differently with still 9 points to play for. But Portsmouth have had an incredible run. 3 wins on the trot, no goals conceded. Bang, bang, bang. Thank you very much. And they're almost certainly playing Premiership, League, Championship football next season. When only a couple of weeks ago it was looking completely the opposite picture, the opposite outcome. Charlton, West Brom and Blackburn, 50, 49 and 49 points respectively, are just about holding their own. They probably need one more win each, or a couple of points in Charlton's case, maybe a couple of draws. And that will see off Oxford and Leicester unless those teams win all their matches. And I always say you're not going to start winning game after game, or 3 or 4 games on the trot, when you haven't been used to winning all season. So we shall see. But I may be wrong. There's always a twist in this tale in this division. But it is looking like Oxford and Leicester for the drop. Quite incredible for Leicester City, is it not? I know they had the 6 points deducted, but even that wouldn't get them out of the bottom 3 at the moment. But it did have an impact on their season, of course. So there we are. That's the top and bottom after the weekend shenanigans. What have we got this midweek then? Split over, as usual when it's midweek, split over Tuesday, Wednesday. 7 on Tuesday and 5 on Wednesday. So full programme. And we start with, as it should be, I guess, Coventry City against Portsmouth. So both sets of fans in party mood almost for Portsmouth as well. I think Coventry won't want to let their fans down. That would be a silly thing to say when I've just how they've done. What I mean is they'll want to come out and give a bit of a champagne performance against Portsmouth. I think Portsmouth will go there with a little bit more of a relaxed feel about their football, and that may aid them as well. But I'm going to take Coventry to take the points. Coventry 2, Portsmouth 1. Portsmouth, of course, winning the sort of relegation battle against Leicester at the weekend. Now we have Norwich and Derby County looking at the playoffs, and second place, of course, is really up for grabs in at the top of the table. So we have Derby County 3 points behind still with 9 to play for, so they're still in the mathematical mix, as I might call it. But I think they might come unstuck here at Norwich. Norwich had a 4-2 away win against Bristol City. You can weigh up that how you like. No, neither side having anything to play for. It's all a bit of a damp squib sometimes at this time of the season, isn't it, for teams playing for pride only. But I think Norwich have just had such a recovery from their start. They'll want to reward their home fans with a good performance, I'm sure, and I think they will run out 2-0 winners against Derby, and I'm going to take them to win by 2-0. Now, Oxford against Wrexham. Oxford, as I say, really 3 points, or it's almost curtains for certain. Wrexham, of course, they had a good 2-0 home win against Stoke. Needed that badly, Wrexham, to stay in the playoff hunt. It's between them, Hull, and as I say, Derby still in the mix as well. Hull have got the shirt at the moment, as I always say. 69 points, Wrexham 67, 3 games each left, of course. I think Wrexham here will go and do the business down at Oxford. They'll know that they're the sort of sides you need to be beating if you're going to have any chance of rubbing their shoulders in the playoffs and potentially the Premier League. So I'm going to go Oxford United 1, Wrexham 2. Queen's Park Rangers against Swansea. Not a lot to play for here. Queen's Park Rangers, 11th mid-table, 58 points, and a cluster of teams, by the way, that are in that middle sort of no man's land section. Bristol City, sort of there, Norwich are there as well. Bristol City on 58, QPR 58. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams on 57. Heinz varieties, for those of you who know what I'm talking about there. So 57 points. And they're just a cluster of teams that you would want to perhaps tap into and play for if you're desperate for points. So Queen's Park Rangers and Swansea are 2 of that group, so I think they'll play an entertaining draw. On Tuesday night, I'm going to go Queen's Park Rangers 2, Swansea City 2. Now, back to the playoff stroke at second place. A tussle, more than a tussle, isn't it, when you're going for the Premier League? But Ipswich, again, are in the pole position. They're off 76 points in second place. They have a game in hand on everybody else, which is against... I'm just trying to see who it's against. Maybe against Southampton. I can't remember who their game in hand is. It's a week Tuesday, just to fill in that gap. But at the moment, they still have those 3 points to fall back on if they need them, or they will need them. And Ipswich then, as I say, have got second place after a 2-each draw with Middlesbrough at the weekend. Slightly controversial late equaliser for Ipswich, which sort of kept Middlesbrough's little mini slump going along, unfortunately. So here we are, Southampton, who are just a point behind Ipswich. I know that game in hand is a bit of a nuisance, isn't it? Because we haven't got the even games. I think Southampton will march on, to coin a phrase, against Bristol City. Nothing to play for, as I said earlier. Southampton certainly have. A bit of a local flavour to this, as I always say when these two play each other. 50 odd miles apart, which is not far in UK terms for creating a sort of a derby feel. So I'm going to go, but I think Southampton will see them off. A game they're probably looking forward to. Southampton 3, Bristol City 1 to keep that huge run. I think it's up to 20 games now. But Bristol City have history in stopping Southampton mega runs, as they did a couple of seasons ago. I think when Southampton were going for promotion last time, Bristol City stepped up, beat them at Ashton Gate after months of unbeaten run by Southampton. So, we shall see. But I'm going to go Southampton winning that comfortably. 2 more on Tuesday night then. The first of those is Stoke and Millwall. So Millwall also on 76. But as I say, really a little bit feeling probably they're just clinging on to shirt tails, really, because although it's the same points, they're 18 goals behind on a positive goal difference. And of course, Ipswich still have that game in hand I've been talking about. So not quite as close as it may seem, but it does depend on Ipswich, and they've had a couple of slip-ups lately. Lost to Portsmouth, just scraped a draw on Saturday at home, so they're not exactly taking it by storm by any means, which does give hope to Millwall, Southampton and Middlesbrough. However, it's Stoke and Millwall, so Millwall looking to pick up do their best they can. I think Stoke's always a tricky place to go, isn't it? Always a hard old place to go and get something from. And I think they may be a bit of a Millwall party pooper. To a certain degree, I'm going to go Stoke City 1, Millwall 1. And finally on Tuesday, West Bromwich Albion, who have just steadied their ship somehow in time, we think, it looks like. They're taking on Watford, who are mid-table, end of season stuff for them. But West Brom, if they get the win here, which I think they will, that is just about them sealed. We'll have a clearer picture going into the weekend of exactly what teams need to do. But I think certainly a win tomorrow night will see West Bromwich Albion playing Championship football next season. So I'm going to take them to do exactly that. West Bromwich Albion 2, Watford 1. Then the Wednesday clutch of games. It's 5 of them, as I say, starting off with Birmingham City against Preston North End. So that, again, is 2 of the mid-table cluster of teams. Not much to play for, bit of pride. I think Birmingham, given home advantage, will want to. It's not exactly signing off, because I think those who are playing at home this week also play at home on the final day. I may be wrong on that. In fact, I may well be wrong on that. We shall see. So they either today or Saturday could be their last home game in front of their fans, but we shall. Let me just have a check on that. Yes, as they play, those who are playing today. Those who are playing. What am I talking about? Those who are playing at home this week also play at home on Saturday in some cases. In fact, most cases. Quickly looking down, so they'll be wanting to sign off, won't they? All these teams, they don't want to have a lingering defeat throughout the summer. So anyway, all that waffle, I'm coming around to saying that Birmingham City will want to at least sign off this match. They've got one more chance on Saturday against Bristol City, but this is Birmingham 2, Preston North End 0. So yes, it's looking like, it's very difficult to go across the 2 leagues here, but it's looking like everybody who is home this coming week, midweek, is home again on Saturday, and vice versa. They're away, the away teams are away as well on Saturday, and then flip it round for the following games. That's the way the last 3 games pan out. So we've got 4 more on Wednesday. Starting Charlton Athletic. They've had a little bit of a tough ride. They got a point at Sheffield Wednesday, but obviously they would have been looking for more. It's taken them to 50 points. They're 6 points clear of Oxford. Obviously, the maths say that's not quite it. And I think they're going to struggle at home to Ipswich. So Ipswich can really give themselves a big stride towards the second place here if they can go to Charlton, who've had a really rocky time, especially at home recently. Struggling to score, not getting sort of walked off the park, but they've certainly been beaten a few times by the odd goal, 2-1s here and there. I'm going to go Charlton 0, Ipswich 2, just purely on the current form thing. Although, as I say, Ipswich have had a little bump or 2 in their run as well recently. Now, Leicester City, who really are, they're down, I think. Should I say that? They're down to all intents and purposes. Blackburn and West Brom need 1 point from their final matches to make sure that they are. And that's Leicester, assuming Leicester are going to win all 3 games. And they're in such a bad run of form at the moment. I just can't see that fact alone happening. So Leicester, I feel, are going to tumble into League One. I think their fans are resigned to that now. Well, in fact, I'm pretty sure they are. Sad the way it's all panned out for them since the heady days of winning the Premiership in 2016. I think they will go down here as well to Hull City, who are really looking to cement their playoff place. They're hanging on to that 6th place for dear life. And there's a chance here to go to a deflated Leicester and get the points. I think they will. Leicester City 1, Hull City 2. 2 games to go. Middlesbrough must put away Sheffield Wednesday if they're going to have any slim chance at all of being in the shake-up at the end of the season for top 2 going into the final week. I think they will. I think they'll have to they were very unlucky at Ipswich. They were the better side at Ipswich on Sunday. Didn't get the 3 points they probably deserved. So I think they'll rack up and they'll just have to take the 3 points and see what happens. They will, of course, know what's happened on Tuesday. So any games affecting them on Tuesday, like your Millwall game and that sort of stuff, they will be aware of, which does have an impact at this time of year. And finally, Sheffield United against Blackburn. Sheffield United picked up a useful 2-0 away win at Watford. Sheffield United, obviously, after their dreadful start, ended up playing a 40-game season because they lost their first 6. So they've done pretty well given that all of that. We all know how that played out at the start of the season for them. Blackburn Rovers, as I say, they're just above the line, but they're 5 points above. So they need one more win, really, and that will force Oxford to have to win all 3 of their games. But there we go. We shall see. It's I think they'll well struggle at Bramall Lane on Wednesday night. So I'm going to go Sheffield United 2, Blackburn 1. So Blackburn will have to take it into the last week of the season. So there we have it. Your midweek madness once again for the Championship. Yes, there's still issues to be resolved, but they are becoming a bit clearer over the last week or two. And I think the sort of biggest call at the moment to try and make is who's going to go up with Coventry. As I say, Ipswich clear favourites, but their form isn't quite backing that up. So it's giving a little chink of light to your Millwalls, your Southampton. And Southampton really are the form team of the whole division, even better than Coventry at the moment. So Southampton, if they can win their last 3 matches and give themselves 84 points, it does put the pressure on. But we shall see. They've got to start with Bristol City this week. I think they'll get 3 points there, but let's see how all that pans out. We will be back, or I will be back, reviewing what happens midweek. Looking forward to what will be surely another vital weekend for several of these teams as they vie for those final placings. So there we have it. I hope you're having a great week so far. Yes, it's slightly odd that they throw in a full programme this late in the season, but they do. So there we go. And I will be back to review and preview towards the end of the week. Please, as I always say, if you can find time just to subscribe to the channel, that would be marvellous. We're getting towards 1,000 subscribers. Wouldn't it be great if your click was the one that took the channel over that threshold. There we go. Have a great week. Stay safe, stay healthy. I will see you all again very soon. Bye for now.